Welcome back to another episode of Who's Your Daddy podcast, where two guys who are not dads talk about parenting. Woo!
Yay! Applause, applause, applause.
That is like the intro of the season, because this season we are expanding things in the podcast. We're talking to a lot of people. We're talking about a lot of topics. And today we have two awesome guests
In person.
Sidney and Giacomo.
Hello.
Hi. The crowd goes wild.
Insert applause.
Insert sweet potato.
And Sidney did bring a sweet potato.
Yeah, all the way from Pittsburgh.
More on that
Thank
later.
you so much.
You're welcome. It was the only thing I could find that was fresh.
Sidney and Giacomo are actually here visiting this weekend, which is fun. We're getting to show them a little bit of Portland.
And they're baking a lot of pizza for us.
Yeah.
So to start, just in case anybody listening or watching doesn't know who you are already, let's dive in a little bit. Like, who are you? Where did you grow up?
Sure. So my name is Sidney Sokoloff. I'm from Pittsburgh. I am younger than him.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Are we revealing ages?
Uh-oh.
Yes, we're the same age.
Okay.
About 3 weeks apart.
Ooh.
So we're Sidney and G on Instagram, TikTok, and all the social medias. And I open up bars and restaurants for a living. And I actually met Giacomo because I coached CrossFit for a hot minute. And he was my student in CrossFit.
No way.
Like, how hot was the minute?
It was a hot 3 years. It's still going.
That was a long minute.
What year was that? What year did you meet?
2020. Well, we
Right
knew each other
after-
before that.
Yeah, before that, but we started
Yeah.
talking when, like, after COVID restrictions.
It's
were
like a
lifted.
training session that never ended.
Did you meet before the lockdown?
We did.
Yeah.
And then
But my
Like, he
ex was
was-
there,
yeah.
and we were together. So we broke up. Then my ex
Oh.
moved away. I got the gym and the divorce.
Yeah.
We were married, but like,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I took the gym with me.
Right.
Okay, before
So-
we get into that, Giacomo,
Yes.
where are you from? Who are you? Tell me.
Okay, so I am from Pavia, which is a smaller city in Italy, and I moved to Pittsburgh in 2016 to get my PhD in artificial intelligence, which I got last November.
Applause, applause,
So,
applause.
insert applause.
But he's a
Like,
doctor.
Actually pretty cool.
For
That's
Dr.
insane.
Gene, and
Yeah.
now I'm looking for a job in AI.
So small town in Italy. You moved. Was Pittsburgh the only option? Did somebody sell you on Pittsburgh?
Or was it doctorate? The doctorate program.
It was, yeah. So I applied to a bunch of schools and I got in at University of Pittsburgh and University of Washington in Seattle. But Pitt had funds to fund my first year, so I picked Pitt.
Got it.
We could have been neighbors. But now you're here,
But
so it
now
all
you're
worked
set.
out.
Exactly.
So we
Oh
got
my
the brief
gosh.
intro. Now I want to hop straight into my favorite question that we ask everybody. When did you know?
Everybody's favorite question: when did you know?
When did you know you were gay?
Oh, this
Oh.
one is actually easy. I know one.
We started with this in our coming out stories because it's the question that we hate the most, actually.
That's
just
fair. So get
because
it out of the
you
And it's the
keep.
question that everybody asks.
It's
anyway.
the question that literally everybody asks, right?
Okay.
Like, oh my gosh, oh, when did you know?
Yeah.
So, anyways, whatever. Take that with
Go for
however
it.
you want to answer
You
it.
know, you have your answer.
Do you
ready.
know this? Have
can-
I told you this before?
I don't know. We're about to find out.
We
Okay.
learned some stuff about each other during our coming out stories. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of fun.
So I knew in 7th grade because we were doing Greek mythology and we had an assignment to research Greek stuff. I don't know what it was for. And so I went
Like,
home.
who are these
I
men?
did. It gets there. Was doing my research and I discovered like in the ancient Roman and Greek times, whatever, they had the bathhouses. And I went down the bathhouse route. Then I found gay bathhouses.
Oh,
And I
wow.
realized men had sex in bathhouses. And then I
in
kept
ancient
going.
Greece.
But I came across
And
porn.
ancient
And
Rome.
also modern.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
In 2024.
But, yes. But I think that point is just that some people think like, oh my gosh, everybody's gay now. Like, what's happening? Everybody, like,
Right.
there's so many more gay people, blah, blah, blah. It's like,
like,
no.
Yeah.
We were
Penny,
here.
no.
There's a video of me when I was 5 years old at daycare, or 4 years old, and I was
Just
wearing
looking up porn?
a wedding dress. My parents came to pick me up in a wedding dress.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, I was always like the princess, not the prince. Like it was very obvious I was gay. There's a video of me singing "I'm Every Woman"
Oh my
at
God.
like 7.
I relate
Yeah,
to
I
this
love that.
because I
Yeah.
had My Little Pony dolls when I was a little kid. Like
with the rainbow
4 years.
hair.
Yes. And I would brush their hair. I would brush my pony's hair and I would
I
cut the hair.
Feel you.
And I was like, these little kindergarten scissors, I'm going to cut these hairs. Blah, 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 blah.
I had a Barbie collection.
And you know what my brother did?
I had Ariel.
Brother did.
Well, he was like, screw the ponies. I'm cutting your hair. And he took my head, he held it over the sink, and he cut all my hair. Oh, my mom was mad.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But, you know, I love playing dress up. I love the My Little Pony. I love the Barbies. All of it. I'm
Yeah.
right there with you.
So my bathhouse venture got me to porn.
Wow.
Wow.
In
And that's how it
seventh
started.
grade.
Yeah. So I would have a laptop under my bed where I would keep venturing down my path
Oh my god.
What path?
of watching more gay porn.
You were allowed to have
Yes.
a laptop
Laptop?
in 7th
Yeah.
grade?
No.
At home, yeah. I had
At
one.
home?
Well, you had it under your bed probably because your parents didn't know about it.
No, they gave me a laptop.
Well, I mean, they had to
Oh.
have purchased it.
How
I don't
big
think
was this laptop?
It
Because
was
this was
like
like the
Sydney knows
90s,
how to
or this
get
was like the
things.
early 2000s.
No, I was. There was an article with me when I was a kid that I was like, for my age, very like computer intellectual. Like I was
Savvy.
building computers and stuff. I was doing something with computers. Like they came and did a thing on me.
Oh wow. I
This
didn't
whole
know
like
that.
Roman and Greek.
It went like this.
Wait, I'm
and then went
sorry.
Like that.
Are we like front cover of the New York Times? Like
like the
or
Pittsburgh-
computer
Pittsburgh
savant?
Post-Gazette?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, like this whole thing with the Greek and the Romans and discovering your sexuality, like all of a sudden this all makes sense.
Right. And that's my story. That's when I realized I was gay. Coming out.
Giacomo's Italian.
He
He's like
was
modern
in my
Roman,
research.
There you go.
right?
I was.
Did you see him in your
So,
research?
If you guys want to know
7-year-old
the
me.
real tea here, we were actually pen pals when we were 13.
No, you were not.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Completely.
Yeah, we are kidding.
Oh my god.
Why can't you just go with it?
I was like,
Sydney's got a good poker face.
Oh, I was ready. I had a
How-
full story.
I
really-
couldn't speak English when
Yeah.
I was 13.
Giacomo, just let me finish my fake story.
You could have been an English savant, just like
I
he was
had
a
it.
computer
I had a full
savant.
story already written
I
out in my
could.
head.
Can you give me the 30-second story?
So we were pen pals when we were 13.
okay,
Mhm.
great.
Okay. And so like after a while in high school, I did the foreign exchange student program.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went to Italy. I actually ended up being in Pavia.
you went to Italy?
Yeah.
To visit
And-
Giacomo?
In
Well,
Pavia.
no, I stayed with him and I got to learn a little bit of Italian.
Oh my god.
And so we lost touch in college. And then after a while, he ended up going to Pitt and reconnected. And
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you know
That's an
Sydney was
amazing-
in Pennsylvania when you decided to go to Pittsburgh and that's why you went?
That's probably why.
Wow.
This is the Hallmark version of our story.
This makes me very angry
That is the Hallmark version.
because
I love to drop these stories if I can. I'll throw them in and I'll see how far I can go. Then I'll stop and I'll have to tell you.
well, it just makes
I
me
had it. If I was Giacomo.
it makes me very angry because of our coming out stories and similarities of like
Mhm.
Michael with the German guy, me with the Swedish guy.
oh yeah.
Except ours weren't successful.
Yes.
So this fake story's insulting.
It's my first European I ever dated before, so I guess this is just my jam.
Yeah, that's fair.
My last experience with like even friendly with a European. They told me I couldn't speak French, to stop trying and give up, and so I didn't like Europeans after that.
There you
Then
go.
I met a Giacomo.
Aww.
Yeah.
You didn't know I was European.
So what's your story? When
Yeah,
did you know you were
Giacomo, when
gay?
did you
What is
know?
my? I think.
I don't think I know anything about your like coming of age
No,
story
I
in
don't think I've
Italy.
ever told
Yeah.
like many people. I think it was 7th grade. You're what, like 12,
13.
13?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about around that time, and I think I started knowing in the underwear aisle at like
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
clothing
Target.
stores. Yeah,
For him, Armani.
yeah, probably was an
Calvin Klein.
and Calvin Klein
Just-
models.
Oh my god.
I was just like drawn to that section.
Girl, I was
A
even
lot.
into the Hanes models. I was like,
There was
they have a shirt off. Like, whoa,
I
what
know,
is
right?
going on?
You're just like, no, I'm just looking. Like I need something. Maybe
Exactly.
for me. Maybe I want these. I don't. Maybe I'll look around a little bit longer.
I would just like kind of try to sneak off, branch off from where my parents were, so I could go look and be like, I'm lost.
Or just just take a peek
Take
and
a
just
peek,
keep
quick peek.
walking.
When I was a
To
kid,
not
there was
be-
a video rental store on our main street. And so you'd go to the video rental store and there were two windows. There was the videos and there was the porn store. But they had like a little hybrid connection spot. So I would go over to like, it was horror films and like porn. So this little kid, I'd walk over and
What?
I'd look at the back of the videos. I'm like, why is there a naked woman with like the stars? Remember Girls Gone Wild?
Yes.
But I looked for the men on the covers. And I would start like searching.
Oh, you just a memory unlocked?
The store's
did the
still
same
there to this
thing.
day. It's right next to the car dealership on McKnight Road where Gecko is.
Mhm.
That small little gray building.
Yeah.
Yeah. That used to be a video rental store.
They really probably
That
should have
makes
like
sense.
made that a little less accessible.
It was
Yeah,
the
I-
90s. Things were happening back
Like,
That's
then.
true.
Ours wasn't even in a separate like room. It was just like a separate section of the same room, and I could easily walk over to that aisle and see everything. but
Wow.
the star is on the
Audacity.
Italy was not that permissive. I've never seen like
Never seen a porn store.
movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, 7th grade
Seven,
underwear
yeah.
aisle.
What's it like in
Underwear.
Italy? That's what I'm curious about. Like, we kind of know like what it feels like in the US, but like what's the vibe in Italy? Is it like conservative-y because you're like the country of the Catholicism
Yeah,
and
I think that's what I was gonna say. Like, especially my family was very religious, so our environment was like very like church based, and our life revolved around the church a lot. And so I don't know, when you start having those thoughts, maybe you're just like, wait, what is happening? Why is everybody talking about like, oh, that girl is cute, that girl is cute, and you're like, well, that boy is cute.
yeah.
But then, yeah, there's definitely like some pressure to like repress it or like not think about it too hard.
how long did it take you to come out?
Many, many years. I came out when I was probably 28. I was already here and I was dating my ex. And yeah, but that's my coming
Now
out
that was
story,
like
and we
5
can-
or 6 years ago.
Did you date women?
Wow.
No.
No.
I didn't date at all.
Never.
No, I just focused on like studying. So like high school and then like college, I just focused on doing very well in school. It's just related to what I feel like I heard from your
Yeah.
latest
Wow.
episode. So,
Wow.
Yeah, that's dang.
yeah, that's how people should have known. And that's probably how they
My mind is just swirling.
Was that like an
going
ish-
through your 20s? So were you, I mean, experimenting, hooking up with guys
no,
in your 20s?
not in Italy, no.
But what about in the US?
In the US, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you move to the US?
2016.
2016. Got it. Okay. So that was
So we
8 years
corrupted
ago.
you.
Sure. Yes.
So you had like a couple of years of dating undercover, kind of like
Yeah.
semi in the. Were you in the closet in the US when you were here?
I was like, I would say like if I had when I got a boyfriend, I would just say my boyfriend or like.
So you felt more comfortable almost in the US.
I did also because it's kind of like a fresh start. Nobody
you're-
knew
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
So
Mm.
it's like doesn't matter.
Wow.
And also the US had this like it was known to be like I know it's gonna sound weird, more liberal
Then Italy, I
than
think.
Italy.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
least than the environment I was in. I don't want to speak for like everybody in Italy, but at least the environment I was in, and you could see like the US, like gay marriage was legalized by like the Supreme Court,
Yeah.
and that was
Mm.
so it was seen as like, oh, it's just very accepted. And Pittsburgh is a bigger city. It's not huge, but
2016, you moved to the US. You start this program, and then it was 2020 that you met Sydney.
yeah.
Wait, when did you? But when did you? I want back up. When did you tell your family? How did that
I think
go?
it was 2019 was COVID, so it must have been 2018 or 19. I don't remember, but yeah, I went home for Christmas, and I had a boyfriend at the time, and I just said, so my program. I was struggling with the program, but I was like, I told my family, so like, not all is bad, and like good news, like I have a boyfriend, and that's
Aw.
it. And then I started crying. I had told my sister prior. Like I told her on like Zoom or whatever, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So she knew already. And then I told my parents like that. And they were like they were like, okay, why are you crying? It's nothing. It's like, yeah,
Wow.
we're happy.
Oh my
And
god.
Here's dessert. Like,
Really?
yeah, absolutely. It's like,
But you weren't expecting that.
I wasn't expecting that. I think no. Let me back up. I think after I talked to my sister told me that they pretty much they kind of like knew
Mhm.
or
Oh.
like had the suspicion. So I knew that I was pretty confident that it was gonna go well. And my sister, like, she reassured me. She was like, "Yeah, it's gonna totally fine."
Kind of related, but not related. What did your mother make you for dessert when you came out?
I think I was too preoccupied with crying, and I did not. I don't.
Oh.
I just remember I was very relieved, and as everybody says, it was a weight lifted off my shoulders.
Oh yeah. Holy cow. Especially at 28.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was at 24 and he was 21ish, I think.
21.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, adding like 4 more. We got married when I was 28.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Dang. Yeah, that's amazing.
Well, I mean, I'm glad. I've said this before, and I think I said it on mine. Of religions that I know people are affiliated with, the Catholics seem to be sort of like, meh, whatever. Like,
depending.
I think it depends.
so far,
It's the sect.
they've sort of been like, okay, fine, cool.
Because, you know, like in Nebraska, we were, what was it, Opus Dei? And
Oh my
that
God.
was not, like, that was Opus Dei diocese. And
I
that
mean,
was
yes,
not
but
accepting.
I'm saying the people, like whatever they say up front, like the
Yeah.
people so far, I feel like have just been like, well, we we love you, and we're not gonna like open the Bible and like question you on
Totally,
your
okay.
everything here.
Yeah,
and
I
there
guess
and
if we
here.
compare
I don't
to,
know.
like, conservative evangelicals, but I don't know how it is in Italy with like conservative Catholics.
Sure.
I came out.
Came
and
out.
here we are.
Wait. We didn't. I don't know how Sydney came out though.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, tell us how you came out in 3 words or less.
Stop.
3 words. 3 words.
he
How you
can't-
came out. No, I know, but I'm curious. I want to hear.
Like describing how it came
Yeah,
out.
3 words.
Manipulative, strategic, and selfishly.
Okay, now
No,
you
no,
have
it's like
you have
3 words.
3,000 words because I need to know all of the manipulative, selfish,
So
whatever.
Because I was thinking, like, mine, for example, would be
This isn't about you.
mine would be couch crying dinner.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, you're like
think-
there was 2 phases. The first phase is not the best phase. The second phase has positive adjectives.
Okay.
But when I was 18, I was living at home. Well, I was living at home. I had an apartment. I moved out of my house when I was in high school just because of life. And I had to go figure out my own path. And so
You moved out
Yeah.
on your own
Mhm.
at 18.
Yeah, my last semester of high school, I was in an apartment. And so I was
oh my
working
God.
full time and I had like work study. So I came to high school for the first half of the day and I worked. And so I wanted to stay in Pittsburgh for college. I wanted to take a year off. I wanted to figure out who I was. And so I went to my parents' house because I was only 5 minutes away. And I told them that I wanted to stay in Pittsburgh because I was gay. And living with my roommate was a good thing for me to figure out if I was gay or not gay and explore, experiment, and figure out my identity, even though I just didn't want to go to college. I was just trying to avoid it. So I used it as a tool to stay and have like that not change because I was afraid to leave. So fast forward 6 years, I came out to my parents again and was like, this is really what it is. Like, I'm gay for sure. Went on Facebook, January 1st, 2015, put up a post just like, I'm gay as this is what I want to do. Sorry, can you swear?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what I want to do. This is who I am. Because I figured like at this point I'm coming out. So like things are going to change. My pictures are going to have guys in it all looking like friends. Like it's going to be
Right.
obvious. So let's rip the Band-Aid off. I didn't tell anybody I was doing it. Didn't tell my parents. And so like I ripped the Band-Aid off the next day. My mom got a ton of messages. People were very supportive on Facebook. No negative comments.
Yeah.
My mom's friends are unfortunately conservative and they kind of made some comments to her at a party like the next weekend. She cut them off and like supported me fully.
Wow.
Yeah. So
oh my God.
Get it, mom?
Yeah.
the first time I was so young and confused and angry at the world for not knowing what I was. And then the second time I knew. So it was positive.
I don't know why, but when I'm thinking about your mom at this party and somebody making like really obscene comments to her about her son,
Yeah.
I'm thinking Real Housewives, like she has a champagne in her hand and she just
It was at a country club
Throws
with
it.
a bunch of women who probably drink too much alcohol that don't work. And
This
my
is
mom is not that
exactly-
person. So like she was in that scenario with those type of women and she just kind of was like, you know,
Bye.
like the Britney Spears video, like F you, I'm out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I don't need this in my life.
oh man, to be a fly on that
Yeah.
wall
I know.
in that country club.
Yeah. I mean, she was upset because she didn't want to like it also she lost some friends, but
Totally.
she realized who they
Yeah,
were.
Of course.
But she did it for the right reasons. So like just the welcoming of arms from like just the community because I got to meet a bunch of new people, my parents, my relatives, everybody was just like we all kind of knew. You got the whole Britney Spears collection in our basement. Like in college, college at 2 a.m. the frat party would end. I'd play like 90s boy band, all that music, and like it was so obvious.
Oh my God.
But I had to get there.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people ask us, like, one, like, how do you find a relationship? Two, like, how do you know this person is like your person? You've dated a little bit before you met each other, but like, how did you? Well, she laughs a little. We're gonna give
I'm
Sydney
afraid.
a little. benefit of the doubt a little bit. They did a little bit.
A little
A
bit.
normal amount.
What
Normal amount.
what do you think like was the difference between like you
This
meeting Giacomo and you meeting Sidney and being like, okay, this
versus
is
other
this is like a
things.
forever thing.
Okay.
I mean,
You can go first.
I definitely, I guess, believe in the fact that you should explore and experiment. So I definitely took advantage of that as much as I possibly could over the last how many years. And I mean, of course, I think everybody should have like their slut phase. Like you should go figure out what you like, who you like, what you want to be around. In general, like I think it's important for that physically speaking, but also to date people emotionally and figure out who you are, what you want to be. And my last relationship before Giacomo, I was definitely boxed in emotionally and I was not myself. So like this time around, I said whoever I would commit myself to next and I was ready, it had to be like 100% me and show up. Like if they get scared, they don't like it, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like crossing a line, but like I need to be authentic.
Don't change yourself for the person.
Mhm.
The
Right.
person needs like you guys need to make a match with your own authentic personalities.
Right.
Yeah.
And you grow into it. And so with him, it just like that was it was like my person because I was waking up, I was singing in the house, I was bothering him every 5 seconds, and he just kept showing up 100% the whole time. Like, I want to be around you. Like, I enjoy your presence. Like, I believe that the minute you find that authentic version of yourself, whoever the yang thing, it matches. Like, that person will see you and they'll want to be around you, friendly, like platonically, forever. Just like how it works.
Yeah.
I think it is great when you do find someone and they just let you be annoying,
Yeah.
and you can just annoy the shit out
Right.
of them,
You're so welcome.
and you just love it anyway.
Yes.
I love that.
You're
What about you?
No, I think that's my answer too. Like, you can be yourself and you like the fact that the other person is themselves and it just works. And even if like not everything is always perfect, it also feels easy. Like it feels natural and it flows. And it's just like what you said, Michael, it's just like there's a match. It's like two puzzle pieces that they just like they're both not perfect, but the imperfection makes the union perfect. So
Yeah. Like you can just, it's that same, like I came out and I have this huge weight off my shoulders and it's like you're with this person and you don't feel like you're like tense and like trying to like figure out your next move. You're just sort of like gallivanting around life, like being whoever you want to be. And then you're like, you cool with that? You're like, yep, sounds good. You cool with me? Yep, sounds good.
I think also from like being like now that we're all together finally like in the same room, we can see like
I know.
we've noticed similarities of like our relationships. Like it's just
Yeah.
And it feels the exact same way.
know,
Like
it's
we
like-
just come together and it's like we found the match.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like,
we're all just together.
Sydney and Matthew share that they have no idea when to take the garbage out. It's just like,
we don't take the
Wow.
garbage out. Do
Yeah.
we? Do you take the garbage out?
I take the garbage out.
No, I don't.
Why?
Because it magically ends up at the curb every Sunday.
yeah, somehow it does.
Why would I have to do it if it's already there?
You make a good point. I mean, if it's already there.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess this is a good time to announce to everyone that Sidney and Giacomo are moving in.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now we have like a gay compound in
Yeah.
Portland. So
Yes.
I make them coffee. They make us pizza.
it's a
just, like,
good
perfect union.
Yeah, perfect union. You got this.
Exactly.
They all clean up. I sit on the couch.
Excellent. Yeah, you work. I mean, you got the computer out and you looked like you were doing
Yeah.
something.
You have to
Important.
look like you're doing something important. That's
That's
what
the
matters.
trick.
The screen didn't change. I was just on my phone looking at stuff.
Perfect.
It's just typing
Right.
away.
So smart.
That's what I do when I get the blanket and I curl up on the couch. I just act really busy, like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing something on my phone,
Look busy.
but I'm not doing anything. I'm playing a game.
Yeah.
Just-
Like yesterday when I'm like, what are you doing? Hello. Hi. I'm like cleaning the kitchen. I'm like, hello. Hi. What are you doing?
Okay, let me straighten
He's
this
like,
out.
I didn't sleep.
I know we're having a very
well."
important conversation here, but I need to straighten this out.
Tell me.
No,
Okay,
you don't.
Straighten it
No,
out.
we don't.
I'm straightening it.
I'm going to
Okay.
gay the shit out of this.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. When I wake up in the morning, I need a solid 20 to 30 minutes to start up. I am like an old 1990s computer that only runs on dial-up.
And sometimes he makes that sounds too.
That is me in the morning. Yeah, I make those sounds, and no one can talk to me because there's nothing happening inside. Not until I have my
I
morning
saw
cup of
it.
coffee.
Nothing.
It was right here.
Let me
There's
tell you,
nothing
we
in
know.
here.
Yeah.
It's like literally
As of
zombie.
this morning, we know.
But it's
You were wrapped up. You're
what
like
is that?
you were
That's you.
That's pretty good.
For everybody just listening on podcast, Michael is just making a blank stare into the microphone like he's holding a cup of coffee. It kind of looks like a lizard.
But like this morning, you kind of gave me turtle vibes. You were wrapped up in this big blanket. You were curled up, and you had your coffee in your hand. And you were just staring off.
Yeah. Not interacting with anybody.
And as you like started to wake up, the blanket started to come off your shoulders.
And he started
You, like, lifted
talking.
up. Yeah.
And that came out.
Yeah. 5 words started, then 10 words started.
And then all of a sudden, you can't shut me up.
Right.
Yeah.
You're awake
High
again.
speed internet.
See, in the morning,
dial-up
I'm the
anymore.
opposite of you. I go in the bathroom and like I have a Wonder Woman spin and I'm
What?
ready.
Oh, he's
Not
right.
literally, but like Superman. Remember the telephone booth?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens in the bathroom. I come out and I'm ready. And I'm like in the morning at 7 a.m. I'm like,
I'm gonna
Let's
need a
go.
short form video to confirm this.
you want to?
Oh,
you could
he's
probably
ready.
record it from the kitchen. You could hear me singing in the shower and like getting ready in the morning. Like,
Honestly, that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yes.
How do you get that
hold
energy?
on. Can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
My foot is so asleep and it hurts so bad.
I'm
I'm trying to not move. and
This
it
is
hurts.
not getting cut.
Don't move.
This is definitely not getting
It
cut.
hurts so bad.
Wiggle your toes.
No, I did the cross your leg.
Bring your foot
So
up. Let
hard.
me help you.
It was numb.
Let
And
me
I-
see your foot.
No, don't touch me.
Where is
Consent has not been given.
I don't want to kick the table.
Ten.
I don't
Wait,
wanna
you need to
knock-
do
no means
something. You're
no.
just
No means
sitting
no.
still. It's gonna hurt
It's
worse.
coming back.
Yeah, it's. Oh, it is.
It's all coming back
When
to
you
you
touch
now.
me like this.
And you kiss me like that.
Okay,
Your foot's good.
I think so.
No amputations.
Do you know like when it goes numb?
Yeah.
Oh,
It went-
very much so.
It went like
For like a while, I used to sleep on my side or like my arm in some way where I would wake up and my entire arm
Would just
was
be dead.
floppy.
yeah.
Oh my
You
And you have
died.
to
I couldn't
grab
feel
yourself.
it. It was like complete noodle. But I kept doing that like night after night. And then I was starting to freak out because I was like, am I cutting off blood to my arm and like cells are just slowly dying? And then like
And then
my
I'm not
arm
gonna
is just
use
gonna like
arm.
fall off someday.
It feels like it's a floppy thing.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
I
I'm
actually-
like, what if I didn't wake up and this just turned purple and died? Like amputated my own arm.
It really makes me laugh when I do that because I just like I pick it up and I let it go. And
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. It freaks me out.
It's never happened
It's
to me.
you've
Oh, yeah, 'cause
never.
he sleeps
you-
like this. I look over and it's like his hands behind his head.
Yeah,
and
I'm
the
posing.
arms up, and he's posing in his sleep.
he's
He's like,
posing.
Arms
Oh,
up. Yeah.
I'm from
I'm a model.
Italy.
And then
we
I see
pose
this.
like the.
Cracks all of his
Oh, yeah.
fingers.
I do
Lifts
that.
his feet up, and like sleeps with it like his feet pulled back.
What?
And he'll do like his feet wide like a butterfly sometimes with his arm behind his head.
Really?
Yes.
Mhm.
I do full starfish.
Oh, there
Okay.
you
I
go.
appreciate that.
A little bit.
Can
Or
we have
it
a
does.
squirrel moment for a second?
What?
Squirrel.
A squirrel moment.
Go
Uh-huh.
for it.
So do you know how like in our generation it's all about labeling things like coming out like gender has in different directions now. How do you feel about the gay sexual preference of a side?
Oh, I
That's, like,
actually
super
appreciate
new.
that.
It's not actually that new to us.
It's not?
We had a friend who talked to us about that in like 2016
Okay.
and told us that he would describe himself as more of a side, and it was sort of like he didn't really know what that meant.
Right.
He like knew that he didn't really like the other stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
And he finally he was like, oh my God, I found this term that I feel like is like describes me perfectly. And so I had heard of it like actually quite a long time ago.
Oh.
I really appreciate that too, by the way,
Yeah.
because like I don't know, bottom stuff, top stuff is it can be so messy. There's
Right.
a lot involved. It can be painful.
Oh,
it's
It's
a lot
just
of
like
pressure, a lot of other things.
it's a lot of things happening. So I think like people probably experience siding a lot more often than what we would think.
Yeah.
It's not like the movies.
And I like that there's a word for it.
Yeah.
It makes it.
I think it takes a lot of pressure off of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I don't know, sex is sex, and there's a lot of
Right.
different ways
Ways
to
to
do
do
it.
it, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be one specific way.
What made
Agreed.
you think of that?
You
I
said
agreed.
side in the last topic, and I was like,
Oh, I slept on my side.
yeah. I didn't take my Adderall today.
Oh, that's why he was squirreling. He was
In my
squirreling.
head, I went down a full path, and I was like, it has to come out now. Sorry.
Oh
that's,
my god.
That's fine.
I just like, it's one of those things, it's like, it's newer for me, because like,
Yeah.
it came out, like 2 years ago, mainstream wise, we'll say. So I kind of wish it was there when their younger days. So people weren't so like, oh, you have to do this or you have to do that. Like the pressure of figuring yourself out and thinking you can only
Yeah.
have two options when it's not really the case. You
Yeah,
don't have
because
to
if
do
you don't
that.
have the vocabulary to express what you want to do, now there is a vocabulary.
Right,
So
like
it's
using
great.
words.
Dang. Well, with that, how did you two meet? I
How
know
did
it was
siding.
training. Was there siding involved?
So we met at CrossFit.
We did.
Yeah.
We met IRL.
Yeah, we did. We were not app based. We're
No, we just
organic.
well, not organic, just
Yeah.
in real life.
Student teacher connection.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he was in my class, and so
Yeah.
And you were
Well,
like, squat lower.
yeah,
I
was like,
joined the gym first. I just want to point it out. It was my gym, and,
And
then
then
he
Sidney.
joined the gym
That's
with
true.
his ex.
Yeah.
And then he started coaching, and I would just go to class, and then we started talking.
It's not that you're generalizing the story.
No,
The story's
I'm
funny.
fast forwarding.
The
I'm
story's
not-
funny.
The story is funny.
Oh, yeah.
So
Please
there were
do
two
tell.
gays at the gym. Well, me and my friend Chad. And so
There's two
I'm
gays.
sorry, I'm triggered. Chad.
my friend Chad.
Chad.
Yeah, like the Chad from Charlie's
Just like
Angels.
we just talked about
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Like Chads and Brads.
Chad follows you guys on Instagram.
Yeah,
No.
no, he's talking about his Chad
Oh, I'm sorry.
with the snowman.
Yeah, the snow fort. And I think
Ford, sorry.
Chad is just a bad name.
This
It's a
Chad's
bad
super nice,
name in
though.
this household.
And he likes you guys. He's like fans of you guys.
Oh. Okay, we like Chad.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Chad.
So Chad,
Don't listen to Matthew.
we'll call him C.
C.
For this
we have
story.
G and
Oh, that's
C.
cute.
So he texted me one day and was like, it was a screenshot on Instagram, and he was like, "Oh my god, G at the gym, he's gay." I was like, "There's no way this man is gay. Like everyone knows he's attractive, but we're thinking, he's straight. Move on from it. And he doesn't talk, so like we don't know, because he always would come to class, go in the front of the room, and never say a word to anybody and leave. But everybody loved him, so it was fine.
Right.
So
Well,
I
yeah,
get
he was
this-
working out in the front of the room.
right because he didn't want to see anybody else.
Well, everyone saw him.
Right.
So.
He
So-
also at the back of my head.
Yeah, and you lift a lot. Like he's very strong.
Yeah.
I used
And-
to. I'm not anymore.
So it was like this skinny muscular guy in the front lifting more weight than everybody in the class, and then just leaving. And everyone's like, "Oh, geez, here." So
Exactly.
I get the screenshot. I left work to go to the 5 o'clock class. I saw he was on the roster. I was like, I'm gonna go test the water and see if he's actually gay. And so I go.
Mhm.
I
Okay,
figured-
what was your plan?
What-
What's the plan? What's the
What
story?
Oh
was
my
the
God,
plan?
Sydney, you and I are so alike. This,
Well, I mean, I was a coach, so I could go and walk in any class and I wanted to and go talk. Like you can go do that in CrossFit. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not like traditional lifting; it's a group thing. So I figured I'll use my seniority and I'll just pop into class and I'll work out and I'll see if I can talk to him. So I got lucky and I got in the class and he's like, "Do you want to share a barbell? Because if the weight's too heavy, it saves more time to share a barbell than have two of the same weight." So we ended up talking.
Yes.
And I was trying to hit on him, and I didn't know what to say because I've never heard him speak before at that time.
There you go.
I thought he was from Spain because I heard he was foreign. So I asked him what the secret of the internet was.
The secret what?
Of the internet.
Because he knew I was in computer science. So
Yeah.
he comes up and I was like, so what is the secret
I didn't know what
of
computer
the
science
internet?
was.
And I was like, I had no idea what this guy's talking about. I didn't know if it was like slang. So I don't know. I was like, okay.
But it started the conversation, and that's all that mattered. So I go up to the gym owner after class, and she and I were good friends back then. And I was like, Ashley, I was like, did you know that G's gay? And she's like, the whole gym knows G is gay. He brought his boyfriend here last month for yoga. And I was like, so the two gays in the gym that I know of didn't know he was gay, but
Everybody.
But everyone
Everyone
else
else did.
yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have to get our gaydars like recalibrated in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
So that's actually how we started talking and became
Ex-
friends.
What's
Yeah.
the secret to the internet?
Yeah.
And that actually worked.
I know.
We're
right?
married.
Well, that says more about me than.
I'm just
So if anybody out there is wondering, like, what do I say? Literally f***ing anything.
Exactly.
There's no secret to flirting. You just have to go
Words.
for it.
Why do you think the sky is blue today?
I'm just actually surprised that G wasn't like, I don't know, and then like,
like,
brushed you off.
I also
Just
think
like-
it's because during like a CrossFit class, you cannot leave. Like it's not like a normal
Yeah,
gym.
you
They're
can't
like,
leave.
I'm done with my set. I guess I'll
Oh,
leave.
so you were
You're
trapped.
stuck.
I was also at his
So-
skill level, so during the workout, I could keep up with him or be near
Yeah.
him. So there was no getting around me because we'd finish at the same time or I finished
Yeah.
before him. Yeah, you
And-
got sucked in.
That's amazing.
So I followed up, and then we became friends. And then we were in the competitive group, so we would have a special workout day on Saturday mornings. And so I'd see him there, and I convinced him to come back to the competitive group. And we started getting breakfast after class, and then eventually dinner. He'd come to my class,
Mm-hmm.
and then we kept getting dinner after class. And then eventually, he and his boyfriend broke up.
Yeah, we're
And
single.
I had no say in that.
No,
I learned my
yeah.
lesson from my previous relationship not to get involved in that shit,
Yeah,
which kind of worked out. And then eventually
did.
we started dating.
And here we are,
because
moving in with you guys.
Yay! Can't wait to start this rumor.
Yes.
It's not a rumor. It's true.
It's true.
Sydney and G are moving in. We are all together now. We're planning to have babies.
Yes. We packed a suitcase within a suitcase to bring more stuff next time.
Perfect.
Yes.
90 Day Fiance, quadruplet.
Well, if you guys wait
quadruple
another
couple.
year, we can do our master plan from last time.
Yes.
I'll get my Italian citizenship next year, hopefully, if I can learn Italian.
Right.
And then we'll get a divorce. And then we'll get married and we'll give you our citizenships.
And
Yes, thank you
hopefully
so much.
nobody from either government is listening to this right now.
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
Wow. I just love this story. I think that's fantastic. Like,
And then
all of it.
we talked a little bit about planning a wedding in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It happened.
So how did that come about? Were you just like, oh shit, we need to get married right now? Or like,
No, I think.
Well, marriage is
Well-
a two-way decision.
right.
And
know,
so
100%.
I wanted to propose to him, and I asked his parents back in March of 2022, and his sister. Well, I'd ask his sister, then she'd translate for me to ask his parents.
Mhm.
That was very nerve-wracking.
In person or on
On
No,
Zoom.
it's-
on a Zoom? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, nerve-wracking.
So once I learned about that, I had to learn about immigration because he had advice.
Right.
Yeah, just knowing with like the political climate of things where they could go, we would get married before the election, but that was the plan at least. I was hoping, but still to be safe. I know immigration's not an overnight thing, so
Right.
my mom knows a very good immigration attorney in Pittsburgh, and so I had lunch with her or breakfast, coffee. I had coffee with her, and I learned a lot, and it was very intimidating and overwhelming. And so I had this plan to propose to him in August when his parents were coming. But then with the immigration stuff, I was like, shit.
Yeah.
We're going to Italy in December. We're going in May. Once we start this process, we can't leave the country for maybe 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
I
true.
think- so I just want to clarify because it kind of sounds like I was about to get kicked out of the country.
He was not.
I wasn't. And immigration, for somebody who has never dealt with it, they make it sound extremely scary. So I've been dealing with it for a while. So I know that like it's not as scary if you do everything in the proper way. So I was in no way
Yeah.
at risk of getting kicked out of the
No,
country.
but you were like going to go to Italy for like Christmas or something
Yeah,
to
no,
visit
the
family,
wedding.
and the wedding.
The wedding was in May of 23. The Christmas was December of 22.
Right.
This is July. And so we had to, like, at that point, we had to figure out, I had to decide what I wanted to, like, how I wanted to do this with timing. Because if I proposed, we wanted to get married and we wanted to approach this, then we have to figure out strategically.
Yeah.
And it's like the 6 months. That is the
Potentially. It could be anything.
Yeah, there is
for citizenship or for
No.
green card
Mhm.
or
It's
the green
so
card.
from when you apply for a green card, when you apply for the green card, you cannot leave the country.
Until
you
it's-
can leave the country, but you cannot re-enter it.
Yeah.
So that's the caveat. And also, like my parents were coming, and we were like, "Well, we're gonna get married, so why don't we get married while they're here already?" And Sydney is very well linked in the Pittsburgh restaurant scene, so he was able to.
That's
pull
I
this
had a
off.
client at the time that needed a hotel restaurant, so we had a hotel with a rooftop, which they were like, "Yeah, absolutely, come have it here. We'll use your stuff for marketing." I pulled a restaurant client for the food. It worked out really well.
It did.
I
It
love
did.
that.
And my
like,
my whole family was there.
yeah,
So they were already going to be
They were already
in
coming.
town.
Yes.
Yes.
Smart.
I was going
It's
to
very
propose
smart.
with them here, but my mom, after that meeting, she was at the immigration meeting with me.
Yeah.
She said, you know, if as your parent, if it was me in their shoes, I would rather see your wedding than see your proposal.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, I have to fast forward my whole plan now to Sunday in 2 days.
Yeah.
So I called my best
Oh.
friend Sarah and was like, she does marketing back home. I was like, I need you to get your photographer here. I'll pay him whatever. We'll do a fake social media thing and with pizza night. And then
Mm.
I'll propose to him on a pizza. And we'll like have this whole scheme together. And it worked.
It
So were
did.
you did you know that this
was gonna-
whole thing was gonna
No, I had no idea that all this went down. So the weekend that he proposed, I was actually mad at him because he was very nervous about it. So he avoided me.
Like,
So that Sat-
MIA.
like
not
that
a-
Oh my
Saturday
God.
morning, I woke up. He was not in bed. No, he was nowhere to be found in the house. I went into the garage. The car was gone. He did not text me or anything, which like he can do whatever he wants, obviously, but maybe just text me, by the way,
I'm going here.
I'm going to the grocery store.
Oh my
so if you
God.
wake up and you don't find me, I didn't just leave you with 2
I
dogs.
would be so angry at you, Michael.
Wow. So then that was the day that you proposed?
The day before.
The weekend of.
Yeah.
Like
The
that
weekend of.
Saturday, and I did it again Sunday morning.
So then how long did it take for you to explain to him, like, will you marry me? And also, these are all the reasons why I'm doing this today, and we have to get married in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think
Immigration meeting Friday, proposed Sunday, we talked Sunday night.
And then was it like clear, or were you sort of
So,
like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this is so intense?
I didn't realize. I mean, I didn't know that he talked to the immigration lawyer. And then when he told me, I was like, oh, okay. I understand that you were freaked out by it because also like
Yeah.
the language that is used in those documents and stuff is
absolutely.
Really
scary.
intense.
It's terrifying. So
But also,
I understand.
Like, during COVID, our previous president tried to kick all the the students out of the country because
Yeah.
So like,
Right.
and if he was president again, who knows what could happen? Because it is a possibility.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
I was playing worst case scenario because you don't know where it's gonna go.
Once you involve immigration, the whole timeline changes for wedding planning,
Yeah.
proposal, all
Yeah.
of that.
But it wasn't a factor for that. It was more about what could happen in 2025, and having a few years to go. We could have taken a year, planned a wedding.
Yeah, 100%.
But
And I also
it
think
just-
we both did not want like a huge
Yeah.
wedding. So we were like, we can pull this off. And my parents are
Whoa.
here. We know that they're here.
mhm.
So in
Yeah.
a year, maybe something's going to happen. Like the pandemic just happened. So like literally anything can happen to the world now.
I'm like sort of jealous that you were able to plan your wedding in 3 weeks and like just be like wrap it up,
Yeah.
sort of. And then also like, oh my God, that sounds like so stressful.
Yeah.
So ours was
It
like
was.
16 months or 14 months of planning. And
I feel like it
I'm
was
like, oh
more
my God.
stressful, but less like drawn out. So I
right.
think,
No,
like,
exactly. Then you're like,
yeah.
oh, okay,
Mhm.
done.
Okay,
Did it.
that makes
Amazing.
sense. Yeah.
So
So here we go.
All right, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah. What do you want to wrap it up with?
Okay. Well,
Maybe
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
babies.
we'll see.
just like loop that in.
I actually have news.
What's the news?
You have news? What's the news?
I'm pregnant.
Are you? I didn't know you were trying.
I wasn't, but I had a piece of bread and it happened.
I was gonna say I think we're all pregnant
Oh my God.
with pizza.
With
Yeah.
pizza.
100% food babies.
because we all ate pizza.
Well, we're very happy for you.
Actually, yeah, that's so we talked about, like coming out, meeting, wedding. Cool. Now I want to know what's next. Are there going to be little Giacomos running around?
I mean, what's next? What happened for us, I'd say, is like creating this platform with Sidney and G kind of opened the door
Yeah.
for us to like meet you guys and learn a lot about surrogacy, adoption, and there's still so much more we don't know.
Yeah.
So we want to know this is the
So
year
much.
we're gonna have kids. We're
We're
gonna
gonna start a process.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wait,
In
which
August.
Which process?
do you know? Which like?
We think we're gonna do adoption.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
more
wow.
inclined to
I
go
wanna
with
meet-
adoption.
Yeah,
Love, love,
amazing.
love.
I
That's
want
gonna be
another me
awesome.
though in the world.
That's
The world needs more.
Yeah.
I don't know if the world is ready.
So you know, like those tarot card people. I did a tarot card reading at the end of every year, and so the year this year's one, the pool was all male energy, and then the lady said in July, August, there's going to be a flip and a big decision you have to make that you thought it would go one way, but it's going to go another way. So I'm hoping that means that like we're going to go the adoption route. Something's going to happen in July that's going to flip a switch. Not saying we don't want to adopt. I would love to, but like something's going to change where we might go a different direction. But I'm hoping that
Wow.
means surrogacy at
Well,
some
I'm
point.
very excited for July
Yeah,
to
Oh
come
my gosh.
around, see what happens.
start the countdown.
You do a tarot reading every year at the end of every year.
Yeah, I do a year ahead reading.
I've never done one.
I can refer you to the girl does. She's LGBTQ.
We live in Portland. They're all
virtual.
around the.
Fair.
Oh,
I mean, just
Oh no,
like,
I would want to do an in-person one. Like
Oh,
virtual,
yeah.
fine. But I think for my first one, it'd be a good experience to do in person.
Yeah.
Just-
I met her in person. That's how I
There you go.
ended up doing it
Cool.
on Zoom. But it was just like it's a great like eye-opening experience. But then for this year, especially being, she's like, you're probably gonna have a son, and something's gonna shift in that time period.
Oh,
So
cool.
So
we're
stay tuned.
open-minded.
that's so exciting.
Yeah,
That is really
we'll see.
exciting. We're gonna be uncles.
I know.
And the kid will be here because we can all
Because
share
her.
it.
Of
Exactly.
course.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
What? It takes a village to raise a child.
It does take.
And we are the village.
There
Yeah.
you go.
The village
the
people.
So here's a question for you guys.
Okay.
How many kids do you want to have? What's the plan?
Minimum 2.
Okay.
Probably no more than 4.
All right.
Okay.
Is there a boy, girl? Well, like
I
by
want
you choosing
like
their gender, not being open-minded.
4 boys and 3 girls.
Okay, the Brady Bunch.
I will say just having as many nieces and nephews as I do, it doesn't actually matter. Boy, girl,
No, it doesn't.
trans, whatever. Like,
Sure.
if they're healthy, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, same.
How many do you want?
I would like 3, and I don't care about the 3.
At the beginning of the process, I thought I would care if that is helpful. Like, I thought it'd be like, oh, it'd be so nice to like this, or, you know, like this
Yeah.
combination. And like now having gone and just having to go through this process, you're just like, I'm going to be lucky
Right.
if we have a family and then like
Yeah.
this thing works out and, you know, we still have money to spend on them at the
I
end
know
of
it's still a
it,
big
and,
question
like,
mark, and you're just like, I hope I have a family.
yeah, and
you know.
and when you realize, like, especially through surrogacy, when you're looking at all the variables and all the things that could go wrong, you're just like, holy crap! Like, I just hope that whatever we implant or transfer takes, and if it takes,
Yay!
like yay, yeah,
Perfect.
It's like
Wonderful.
one step at a time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but I think you guys would be amazing parents. So I'm like, it's one of those things where you're like glad you get to meet new people and see like their journey.
Yeah.
It's not like we get to be part of your journey as you're a part of ours.
Well, it's nice because I mean, you grow up and I have a lot of straight friends, a lot of straight siblings, and like you know how that plays out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You don't really get to see, like, I don't have any gay uncles that have kids. I don't have any lesbian aunts
Yeah,
that have
that's
kids.
true.
I don't have any whatever.
Yeah.
I don't like this was never modeled.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know how parenting works. Like, once the kid's here, like I've seen that modeled really well. But like the whole process of like adopting, I had one sister who's done foster, so I have like a little bit of, you
Like
know,
foster to adopt or just
foster to adopt.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was lucky to like kind of see that process play out. But yeah, as far as like surrogacy and like private adoption, you don't get to see that. So it's nice
That's
when
true.
you can like share that with people.
One of the things like I've thought about, like I've noticed recently now that we've decided it's like the process is going to start soon, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, is that like I've noticed, and I try not to compare myself or be jealous of straight people or people with families, but like I get very jealous of my friends who are pregnant now because like they can just do it.
Yeah.
And they can make a baby, and I'm just like, but I could be a great parent too, and like I want that same opportunity, and I just get this like the voice, like your inner saboteur in the back of your head, just like it's just jealousy. That's what it is.
Yeah. I'll tell you that
I get a little angry. I do when people talk about having babies so flippantly,
Right.
just because it's hard for us to have babies, and it's hard for a lot of people to have babies. But
Yeah.
there are couples out there who talk about starting a family, having babies as a very just regular, normal, expected thing. Like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna have a baby right now. I'm just gonna have a baby in like maybe a few months, like whatever. Oh, we're gonna pop another one out. Cool, great.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
It's so rough.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I have one like addition, I don't think that bothers me as much as when people are like parenting their kids and they're like, "Are you sure you want them?" And you're like, "Do you know how
Right.
much effort it takes for me to do this? Do you think
Right.
I would go through this if I didn't want it?" And like, do you know how lucky you are?
Yeah.
that this was either an accident or easy or not easy, obviously, right? Like nobody like come for me for like women carrying children. It's not easy, but it was like we made a decision to try to have a baby and we had a baby. You know what I mean? It was just
Yeah.
like, yes, I want this. And
Right.
like, please stop complaining about being parents because you chose that for yourself. And like be a good parent and like model that. I don't know. That annoys me is when people are like
Right.
complaining about their kids. And I'm like,
And you want one
I'm like,
so bad.
I'm like,
so
yeah,
passionately.
exactly. I'm just like, ugh, stop it.
All right.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't
Really.
like.
I'm happy for them when they can make their own children. I'm
Right.
like, amazing. Like, good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But when they complain about it, I don't like that.
Michael doesn't like complaining in general.
I
so
don't. My
it's
family's
just-
bad. My family does not do complaining.
If I complain about things in the house, he gets mad, he gets angry. He's like, "Why do you complain about things? You should be grateful." And I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like the word anger. I'm not angry.
not angry,
Don't
just
say I'm angry. I'm not an angry person.
sarcastic, upset,
It's frustrating.
annoyed. He's annoyed. That's
Yeah.
what it is. He's annoyed.
Okay.
I guess you'd say I was looking for like for some validation because like it's a newer thought for me where I don't because I have friends
Yes.
out that are currently pregnant.
Yes.
And I know I'm not upset. It's not there. I'm not mad at them. I'm mad like at the world. I'm not mad. I'm just like it's a frustrating thing.
Well, and to tell a kind of like a validating story, I guess, about that is one of our friends, like their sister announced, right, that she was pregnant, and it hit him really hard. And he was like, I don't like, we can't ever have that like surprise. We can't ever have this like announcement, right, of like, okay, like everybody's taking a picture, right, and you're like, blah blah blah's pregnant, you know, like you can't do that. And I think, you know, that hit him pretty hard. So I mean, I think it's normal. I mean, obviously it's a normal feeling.
It's one of those things. I think it's good to talk about though, because you don't hear it from our side from like a same-sex couple. It's like it's a different kind of struggle.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for when you adopt or have baby
thank you.
surrogacy, and when hopefully we have a child at some point.
Yes.
And we can talk about it on the podcast, and
We'll
then we're
bring
going
the
to come
children.
back.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us on the podcast
And for making pizza.
and for the pizza.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Where
thank you.
can people find you besides at our house?
Grinder, OnlyFans,
Thrinder.
Thrinder.
Friender.
Quindler.
Quindler.
We don't have any of those.
Foot Finder.
Footfinder.
Finder. Yeah.
We're sugarbaby.com.
Oh my God. Okay, so where can people
Okay.
find you?
We're on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We're at Sidney and G, and it's Sidney with an I.
And thank you for listening or watching, tuning in, wherever you're at. Make sure to leave us a rating and a review, please. It helps out so much.
And go follow Sidney and G on all the things.
Yes, absolutely. And then are you ready? Ready to sign out?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Daddy's out.